All right. Well, hello, everybody. We are about to do the after the Secretariat call ceremony, final rose, and talk about. So it was advertised, I think, as faculty governance. And I don't know about you, but I didn't really find it about faculty governance. I found it about what to do if you have like multiple sites in a regional campus, things like that, which I mean, okay, that's great. We can talk about that too. Also, shockingly, I didn't feel like they gave any new information. Um, so I think it was stuff that probably people need to know about, how do you keep your campuses or your sites equal, comparable, and I think we all know that that's super important. I'll say one thing and then I'll turn it, Colleen, over to you for a couple comments just on that sort of stuff. One thing I thought that I just would say to everybody, caution, 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 is they talked about how I think is about if you have a regional campus that, you have to make sure obviously that all the services are there. So student services, registrar, financial aid. But they actually said, I don't remember who it was, something about how it doesn't necessarily mean that people have to be there in person. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. So it used to be you would get in trouble if people weren't there in person. And what I would say is even though they seem to be pulling back on that, and admittedly, students do love being able to do things, over Zoom, over Teams, right? They do love that. You have to know your own campus. And there are many times when a regional campus wants that in-person touch and feel, or they feel kind of like the stepchild. So
Hmm.
just because the LCME said, you know what, oh, well, maybe you don't have to visit like, all the time or kind of annually, as we were once kind of taught, like you better visit your, everybody go, and there's got to be personal touch. I would not be ready to throw that baby out with the bathwater because it depends on your students and your faculty and they could get super, I mean, I'll be honest, I would get super pissed off if nobody from main campus ever came to personally to come and talk to me or see me. I'd be pissed off. I don't know. But
Yeah, it makes a big difference in building those relationships, and thinking about if you're going to expand over time, even in that area, to not have any of that personal touch or really have any idea, even what like the building looks like. So you can have, administrators on staff at the main campus who really have no idea what it's like to live the day of the life of the student or the faculty or the staff who are at that regional campus. And it's not just a perceived disconnect, it's a legit disconnect. And it can have,
yeah.
I think, detrimental impact on your organization and your governance structure and all your processes. So yes, the LCME can say that, so you don't feel like you're beholden to a rule from them. But again, best practices
Yeah.
at times trump what maybe the LCME thinks is the minimum.
Right, which is sometimes shocking. But yeah, I think the other thing that they talked about that I often talk about with clients is, how many people from the distributed sites need to be on your main committees. And,
Hmm.
of course, they didn't answer with a number or anything like that. But and again, this I will have to defend for a second that it makes sense what they said. It's what makes sense for you, right? So it depends on how big your campus is, how many sites you have. Is it okay to have no members on the kind of what I call the big three, the student promotions committee, the curriculum committee, the admissions? No. Do you have to have 10 on each? No. So I think it is kind of using your judgment and always being able to defend whatever was chosen and make sure it wasn't a singular person making that choice. Like, what does the executive team say? What does the regional campus have to say? A lot of times the problem actually is that the regional campuses don't want to be on these committees because of the time commitment. They're often much more in the clinical world. And so, but the point was that they can join, via electronically like this, and that it still is important that you really do have to get them on some of the committees, but the number and how many is kind of up to your particular school.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking for ourselves, we have our regional campus is for the clinical year, so it makes sense that they're more involved on the clinically related and curriculum related committees. But if in the future you are expanding or you're increasing class size there, it's really, I think, thinking that ratio of, making sure you have adequate representation from those key stakeholders.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, sadly, I just didn't think there was a lot of fodder to discuss because I really thought that they kind of just, almost read through the different standards and, make sure you have IT, make sure you've got resources, make sure you've got space, and thinking about comparability and that, the students are able to access everything that they need. But this one wasn't, I don't know, I didn't find it particularly earth-shattering or,
No, there was nothing really juicy to like
yeah,
dive into.
yeah.
But Mythbusters are coming up, and those are always interesting to listen to, sometimes repetitive from year to year. But,
Yep.
worth tuning into and will tune in, of course, and
Of
then
course, yes.
follow up afterwards.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Mythbusters are great because they're busting myths that we don't think are myths all the time. So
Right.
there's that.
Or
So
myths
those
that
that
we
will be
said,
fun.
gosh, is it really a myth if you've brought it up 3 years in a row and you still want
Right.
to talk about it? Like
Right.
there's probably truth somewhere. You should probably soul search.
Yes. Yes. Some soul searching. So I guess join us next time for some deep reflective soul searching on Mythbusters and what is a myth? What is truth? I mean, I feel guys kind of like the X-Files, or actually
Yes.
sometimes LCME does feel like the X-Files actually. So
It would probably make it more fun if
yes.
that maybe
Maybe,
that should be
maybe
our intro music to these podcasts
right?
is the
I was
X-Files.
just thinking
Like,
maybe we need to change our theme from after, kind of the final rose after
yes,
the Secretariat call to like the X-Files. That is actually way more fitting to what the LCME is. So, okay, I think we
I
have
know we might just have a new idea on the horizon.
I think we do. And you
Yes.
heard it here. You heard it develop fresh right here.
Yeah, this was live, organically developed right in front of you.
Right in front of you. Wow. Okay, very exciting. Okay, I like this. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. Well, until next month when we do Mythbusters, we are going to sign off.
Yep. Take care, everyone.